Hello, this is VNews Broadcast Daily, and following today's highlights.
Party General Secretary Witten Foo-chop arrives in Brussels, beginning his official visit to Belgium and the European Union. Party and state leaders of Vietnam affirmed the intention to foster the friendship and strategic partnership with Japan during their receptions for Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Prime Minister Witten Tan-dung urges state-owned economic groups and corporations to increase the transparency of their operations.
Party General Secretary Witten Foo-chop arrived in Brussels on January 17th, beginning his official visit to Belgium and the European Union.
The visit is made at the invitation of Belgian Prime Minister Elio Di Rupo and President of the European Council, Herman Van Rompuy. Upon arrival, Chop was greeted at the airport by Secretary-General of the Belgian Foreign Ministry, Dirk Acton, Vietnam's Honorary Consul at Anvers, Baron Joe de Grand Rai, the Ambassador of the Vatican, and several ambassadors in the diplomatic corps, and Vietnamese Ambassador to Belgium, Phat Sang Cho. This is the first stop in the Party General Secretary's tour of Europe, which will also take him to the UK and Italy from January 17th to the 24th.
Party and state leaders of Vietnam all affirmed the intention to foster the friendship and strategic partnership with Japan during their receptions for Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on January 16.
General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam Witten Foo-chop said Vietnam needs assistance from Japan in its economic restructuring and growth model renewal process. The Japanese Prime Minister pledged to enhance the bilateral ties, adding that the Japanese government will work with Vietnam to effectively implement agreements signed by the two countries' high-ranking leaders, especially the two governments. He spread his wish for enhanced cooperation and coordination between the two sides for peace, stability, and prosperity in the region and the world. Meanwhile, President Trương Tấn Sang said the biggest success in Vietnam-Japan bilateral diplomatic ties is mutual political trust, which makes it easier for the two countries to implement economic and social cooperation agreements. Sang also took note of the significance of the Vietnam-Japan Friendship Year, which has just been launched by the Prime Ministers of the two countries. The President also conveyed his invitation to the Japanese Emperor to visit Vietnam on the occasion of the 40th anniversary of the bilateral diplomatic ties this year. Prime Minister Abe said, on the basis of the traditional ties, Japan and Vietnam need to actively work together and share views in dealing with regional and international issues. He also pledged to make all-out efforts to strengthen the two countries' relations during his term of office. The Japanese Prime Minister concluded his visit on January 17th.
Vice President Nguyen Thi Doan hosted a reception for Ousmane Paye, Special Advisor of the Secretary General of the International Francophone Organization, in Hanoi on January 16.
The Vice President affirmed that Vietnam treasures cooperation with the International Francophone Organization and its member countries. She expressed her delight with the organization's role in promoting peace, crisis settlement, sustainable development, and cultural and environmental cooperation, which contributes to solving global issues. Doan also spoke highly of the organization's activities in Vietnam and expressed hope that the organization will continue to intensify links with Vietnam and the Asia-Pacific region. Paye said the International Francophone Organization appreciated Vietnam's initiatives at the 14th Francophone Summit in Congo in October 2012. The two sides discussed cooperation in priority domains, including French, economics, sustainable development, youth, and culture.
Prime Minister Nguyen Tân Dũng chaired a government meeting with leaders of state-owned economic groups and corporations on January 16. He urged the groups to increase the transparency of their operations and asserted their main role in stabilizing the macroeconomy.
Dũng stated that business and production results must be published in a transparent, honest, and timely manner so the public understand how state-owned enterprises operate. The government leader urged the resolute implementation of restructuring under the approved plan. He asked state-owned enterprises to focus on their core business lines and withdraw investment capital from non-major businesses. At the same time, the Prime Minister noted that state-owned economic groups and corporations overcame difficulties and sustained production last year despite difficulties caused by the global economic downturn. They continue to have maintained the macroeconomy and made important contributions to socio-economic infrastructure and key national works. He stressed that state-owned enterprises should maintain their position as a core force in the economy. According to the Steering Committee for Enterprises Reform and Development, state-owned groups and corporations earned total revenues of over 1,621 trillion dong, about $77.2 billion in 2012. The figure, while up 2% from last year, only met 22% of the annual target. Each group and corporation has developed its own comprehensive restructuring plan. 21 businesses were restructured in 2012, of which 13 were equitized, 5 were merged, and 3 will turn into one-member limited liability companies.
Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Văn Ninh met with the World Bank's country director for Vietnam, Victoria Kawakwa, on January 16 to discuss the financial sector's reformation and the restructuring of state-owned enterprises in the country.
During the meeting, Ninh appreciated the World Bank's support to Vietnam in capital, technology, and policy concentrations, and affirmed that Vietnam always considers the World Bank as a long-term and important partner. He said Vietnam is well aware of the importance of restructuring credit organizations and state-owned enterprises, thus is determined to implement the process. Victoria Kawakwa briefed her host on the results of the World Bank-funded credit program to reduce poverty in Vietnam, with a total investment of $150 million. She informed that the World Bank Board of Directors is expected to officially approve a $250 million program to support economic management and enhance the competitive capacity of Vietnam. She applauded Vietnam's commitment to reforming the financial sector and state-owned enterprises in 2013, expressing her continued support to the country during the process.
Visiting Indian Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari has praised Ho Chi Minh City as a dynamic and growing city with conditions for cooperation in economics, trade, control, and education. He visited the city on January 16.
While meeting with the chairman of the Municipal People's Committee, Lê Hoang Quan, Ansari said his visit aims to review the 2012 Vietnam-India Friendship Year activities and boost the strategic partnership between the two countries. According to the Vice President, Ho Chi Minh City, as the biggest economic hub in Vietnam's southern region, has an important position in the cooperation between India and Vietnam. Quan informed his guest of the successful operations of more than 50 Indian business representative offices in Ho Chi Minh City, saying that they serve as a bridge between the city and India. Both sides agreed that a direct air route connecting the two countries is needed, saying that the move is critical to the increase of bilateral exchanges in economics, trade, investment, culture and tourism.
The Vietnam Fatherland Front will spend over 3.34 billion dong, about $160,000, to buy gifts for poor households nationwide on the occasion of the upcoming Lunar New Year, Tết, the year's biggest holiday in Vietnam.
The decision was announced at a meeting of the Vietnam Fatherland Front Center Committee on January 16th. The money will be used to buy 11,134 packages of date gifts for the country's poor families. The gifts will be delivered between January 21st and February 5th. The Lunar New Year Day falls on February 10th. Part of the sum, about 100 million Vietnam dongs, will also be used to present gifts to residents and soldiers of Trường Sa Island District. At the meeting, member organizations of Vietnam Fatherland Front reported that they mobilized funds from a variety of sources to assist their underprivileged members.
And that is the end of our news today. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.